Tata Swatch and Future Agrovit have in common? Yes, they're all very successful products, but the common underlying thread that ties them all is the fact that all of these products were born of ideas by the employees of the companies. Increasingly, it seems India Inc. is laying a big emphasis on empowering employees and encouraging them to do their own thing, because somewhere they realize that the biggest ideas are going to come from the ground.
At first glance, this looks like any other boring office meeting. But the laugh, the chatter, and banter are not the emotions that generally flow during any meeting. So, what are these guys up to? This group is busy racking their brains trying to find a solution to a challenge. Not something that has come up in the daily course of work, rather it's something that has got nothing to do with work. But their boss, instead of being angry, is actually lending a helping hand. Welcome to Mahindra Partners, a company that is a private equity firm, a manufacturing company, and a launchpad for new ideas all rolled into one. And this group is working on a problem, rather a solution to a problem that was thrown up at a blog.
What really happened was that about a year ago, Mohan was, as part of his own surfing the net, if I call it, looking around, seeing what's happening, what kind of dialogues were happening all over the world, and he, I understand, follows the HBR blog. And one of the dialogues going on the HBR blog was around the housing problem in the world, and whether for the emerging markets, can we create a housing solution which is unique, which is affordable, wherein it can actually become a business model, not just a pure CSR, but a business model. So he participated, he was a part of the discussion process, and then somewhere earlier this year, interestingly, the promoters of the blog decided to turn it into a competition. And then naturally what Mohan did was he co-opted some of his colleagues. They actually did this all around lunch hours and after office hours. So it's frankly something that they just did in their own spirit and own initiative. And what we finally had was the Mahindra Partners team participating in the competition.
Led by the venerable team leader Mohan Raghavan, this group had been working diligently on designing a house for $300. And their effort has won them a global award. And now they're spending time on refining their design and packing their bags for a prototype workshop in the US. Theirs is a commendable effort and a great contribution towards society. But why would Mahindra support them on something that has got nothing to do with their line of business?
As a group, we are, as you know, a diversified group. We call ourselves a federation of companies. And I can tell you that half the businesses that were launched were a part of somebody's innovation. So in that sense, the fact that why do we allow innovation comes out from the fact that we have been successful in what we've innovated, and we've actually made a commercial model out of it.
Mahindra is not the only company that is encouraging its employees to go out and do their thing. In fact, innovation seems to be the new buzzword in India Inc. From brick to click, all sorts of companies are investing more and more in encouraging innovation. Take the house of Tatas. The eponymous Swatch has become a household name. But it was the idea of a scientist working at Tata Chemical Research Center that eventually became the Swatch. Ideas are the seeds to growth. But in a world where there are ideas floating like leaves, the question is, which idea to support and which idea do you reject? Do you support an idea even if it does not have any link with business?
Anything that any organization does has to have somewhere a business linkage, because the organization's purpose is for business. At the same time, as a business, what we realized is that we should not kill any idea at a first instance, howsoever absurd it looks. Somewhere out of every 10 ideas, there will be at least 2 ideas which will have business sense, although apparently they don't look to have business sense. So our job as a management is to be receptive to ideas, is to encourage people to share ideas, is to keep communicating with them formally, informally, so that ideas flow, capture those ideas, work on them, look at some ideas out of them which may be making business sense and pursue them further.
Who better to explain that concept than him? Today, Paints heads Highbar Technology, a specialized IT firm for infra companies. But not too long ago, he was just an employee at infrastructure major HCC, heading their IT department. That's when he came up with the idea of a specialized IT firm for infra companies.
Out of this innovative idea, coming out of this group of employees, we pursued it further, we did some more research, and we got our assumptions validated. And then we carried it with our group management, who at that juncture initially felt that whether it is worth getting into a business which is something new to the group. But when we kept on discussing with them for 1 year, kept on educating, kept on having debate, kept on addressing concerns, that's where the group management realized that opportunity seems to be good, and more importantly, the group of employees are passionate about it, and they have come out with this innovative proposal, which is what they wanted to encourage. They also realized that within that one year, some work we started doing outside of the water testing, that itself was yielding result, and that is what encouraged the group to look at this proposition more seriously.
And that's how infra giants HCC stepped into a completely new field. In fact, the idea of intrapreneurship has become quite a buzzword. It's not only recognizing an idea, but going a step forward and making the individual a stakeholder in the project. And Kishore Biani-led Future Group has been at the forefront of this. From the farm fresh business to the financial services arm, individuals at the helm are also stakeholders in the company. In fact, encouraging employee participation has become the core of doing business in modern times. Take a look at any management book and it will tell you to empower employees. So why has it become so important lately?
Increasingly, a lot of things are getting commoditized. Products are getting commoditized. Let's take example of consumer product. Today there is hardly any perceivable difference between Sony TV and Panasonic TV and other TVs. Commoditized product. The knowledge is getting commoditized because of internet. The financing is getting commoditized, but because there are more financiers willing to pay any business model which is worthy enough. Then what is the differentiator? Now differentiator is your human resource. That is going to create a differentiator between A company vis-a-vis B company in the marketplace. And that differentiator, that human resource, there is a need to allow them to create that differentiator. That is where entrepreneurship, channelizing that entrepreneurship, giving him sufficient freedom, having a trust in him, willing to pay for his mistakes, all that comes into play. And I would say today that is what is going to differentiate between successful and not so successful organizations in a sustainable manner.
Perhaps that is the new reality, and all successful companies in the modern age have surged ahead on the power of ideas. Coming not from the top, but from the bottom. Today's companies are charting a new growth trajectory on the power of numbers. The thousands of employees have themselves become miniature engines of growth. And when we come back, we'll take a look at how some of the world's biggest companies nurture ideas and innovation.